To first men, lets every craving reach his wallet. Comfort, image, urgency, guilt. The second man decides, in advance, exactly what each dollar is for. Growing your income without a purpose for it doesn't create wealth, it just funds a more expensive version of the same problem. So, before your next raise arrives, ask a different question. Not, what can I finally afford? Ask, what weakness can this finally fix? Give every dollar a job before it lands in your hand. That's the entire difference.